friends and relations. All of our birds. You. Edmund just wants to be a farmer. We determined that she needs to start at milking time, so they'll just come up with us. Hello, friends and relations. Today we're moving cows again. It's been about a week, and we need to move them again. So we're putting together another paddock. Here we need to continue putting the goats back in here. We need to do that about once a month or so. It's quite overgrown, but they do a good job of mowing it down. So we'll do that. Get them in here. Get the cows moved. That'll be it today. Just got back from my regular business trip of the month, but everything's starting to grow up. Got our, whatever these are called, mulberries, elderberries going. Heather says Irene has been making rose petal tea out of all of these. She picks some and dries them and then makes some tea. So that's fun. Garden's starting to grow up. Here we have our ridiculous dog. He's a vicious hunter. He killed a snake somewhere in here, and so now he's rolling in it to tell all of the other snakes how much of a deadly snake hunter he is. Kimberly, this one's for you. This is our smart dog, Regulus. Say hi, Regulus. He's kind of big. He's our little guard dog. Takes care of the chickens. Huh. So this is where they were one rotation ago, so like 2 weeks. So they mow it down real good. Kept them on here for probably too long. And then this is where they currently are. They're definitely out of food here. Kept them on too long. So there's a bunch of nutrients that's getting mashed into the mud from poop and hoof stamping, grass, things that didn't get eaten all gets crushed in here. So then we're moving it to this so that now they can be in here. And so the idea is in about a month and a half, that paddock, you can see actually the line, that paddock will be back to not this, but be a lot of food on it. So here we've got the electric fencing coming from the little shed up there, comes down here across the white ribbon. This gate will be closed, so there'll be ribbon all the way to there, but then there's no ribbon here, and it gets us this paddock here. So as we get this gate working right here, we'll move them in. Jonathan says, I don't know what there is to do, and Edmund just wants to be a farmer. And here we are, after moving the cows, sitting on Paka and Nolly's porch, having some coffee, living the good life. This is the part of the good life that I desire. It's the image of the good life. Do some work, sit down for some refreshment with family, and enjoy the peace That's the goal. Haven't gotten there, but you know, periodically we get to enjoy a little taste of it. All right, here we are walking through the potential grape rose arch thing that we're making up here. Heather got it planted, so I don't know what's in here. Actually, I haven't even talked to her since I got back. She did tell me that it doesn't have the primary vining part yet. Like I said, I don't know what's in here, but the thing that's going to make it into an arch isn't here yet, so we got to figure out what to do there. This is a Russian olive that I've been cutting down like every year, and this is why you can't kill them like cockroaches. You know, they're in that camp where, you know, in the apocalypse, the thing that survives is, you know, cockroaches, Cheetos, and Russian olives. All right, so here's the evening milking. There's only one cow to milk, so I'm not gonna do it. Heather is out here and Irene. So Heather and Irene, the little ladies of the house, gonna do the milking. Here we have Sweetie coming up. She's waiting, not real patiently, for her evening ration of alfalfa, and we're milking. Hey, thirsty girl. Hey, girl, come on. Milking time. Hey, thirsty girl. She's mad at Buster because he's a jerk. So here we got Sweetie. She's getting today's milking. But this is funny. See that one teat just drains when she knows that it's about milking time. That one lets down and bam, you get milk. And over here we've got little Irene Beanie Baby learning to milking the cow. Just had a discussion with Heather. When I milk her, I put my head into her, like, kind of like that. But Heather doesn't want to smell like a cow, and so she doesn't put her head into that. I told her to wear a hat. She said no. So we determined that she needs to start wearing a bandana and being a bandana milkmaid. What do you think? All right, at the end of the day, moved all the cows, made a new paddock. So here's a week and a half rest, whatever it is. We need to actually put it on some dates so that we know how much rest this is. Here we've got 0 days rest. And then moving into current paddock, right term is fodder. And then their current paddock, so I'd love to get 4 days out of this. We'll see if it lasts that long, not sure. And we've got, you know, probably another 4 days there. By the time we get through these two paddocks and then that final paddock, you know, we're probably looking at hopefully 2 weeks from now. That'll put that front area at getting close to a month, and that would be the bare minimum amount of time on. So if it hasn't recovered enough, then it's off to the burrow pasture. It's a lot bigger, so we can spend a lot of time there, but the forage isn't as thick, and so they'll be spending less time per square foot. But the goal is that by the time they get through that one, this has recovered. And then hopefully go through here one more time. Then this field, this closer field, the Cottonwood House pasture, hopefully that gets hayed again by that time. And then we go back to Cottonwood, and by that point, hopefully it's fall. And we'll spend the rest of fall over there, continue to hay this pasture and our neighbor's pasture over there. Let this grow up as long as possible. Don't hay it. When we run out of grass everywhere else, move back into here, clean all this up. That's called standing hay. So, you know, it'll be basically just like hay, except for it wouldn't have gotten uprooted. And from what we're reading, standing hay retains something like 95% of the protein and nutrient value. So the standing hay will actually be a very nutritious food source. We just have to make sure we protect it and don't let them overgraze it. And then go through this whole pasture again in winter. That's the goal. And then if we don't have pasture still by the time they get through this, if we're not back to spring, then that's what all this hay was for. So we can back to burrow pasture and then just feed them hay for the rest of the winter and spring until we start growing fields again. And that's the theory, that we are able to utilize only our land to support our little tiny herd. And that would become virtually zero input, which would be so cool. That's the goal. We still do give them alfalfa pellets when they're milking, just to build up their protein. So that's the goal. By the time we get through the pastures, hopefully it's at a minimum end of winter, but hopefully into spring, and then maybe the grass is already growing. But if not, we feed them hay and become zero input. I mean, that's the goal, is to get to where our little herd is supported exclusively off of our land. It won't actually be completely exclusively because we do feed supplemental alfalfa pellets while they're milking, just to give them a little encouragement to stay with us and to come up for milking, so they get a treat at milking time, so they'll just come up with us when we ask them to. And that's the goal, but it's going pretty decent right now. You know, it looks like we'll get through our pastures nicely on this rotational grazing system. The real question is, how will the winter hold out? So that's what we're looking at. You know, worst case scenario, we'll buy hay, but we did get 30 bales off of our first cutting, and it was a poor cutting, and so 30 bales is probably about a month worth of hay for what we will have left. Yeah, the goal is to only have the 2 cows and the calf, and then Buster will be in the freezer, and Sweetie, the one we're getting most of the milk from, will probably go back to their owners unless his desire is to get us to take over Sweetie for good. I don't really know if that's his plan or not, but I don't know, we'll see.